Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Torah In. We're broadcasting for Beth Torah Benny Rock campus in Miami, Florida. I'm Cantor Marcos together with Rabbi Rarber, and we are talking about this week's Torah portion, Chayei, and we were talking just before we started to record, and there's so many storylines in this Parsha, Rabbi. It focuses, of course, on Sarah's life and her death and her legacy. But you pointed out before we start recording that there's a very interesting thing happening with Avraham, with Abraham, who's been given this tremendous responsibility, but he capitalizes on it in a major way. And I'm wondering if you could talk more about that.
So we look at Abraham at this moment in his life. Go back to the very beginning. He was promised two things. God promised two things. A land, right? The land that I will show you, right? And we know it's the land of Canaan, which becomes the land of Israel. And promised him progeny, right? Numerous like the stars in the sky, like the sand of the sea. Here he is at the end of his life. His wife is gone. He has to bury her. He's got one son, Isaac. He isn't even married. There's no grandchildren, right? And Ishmael's another son, but Ishmael's outside the family now. He has no land. He has no progeny. He's near the end of his life. Sarah's life, she was promised it always, also, but it's over. And we don't hear a word of complaint. He doesn't turn to, if he had turned to God, I could write this chapter, we all could, and said, excuse me, what happened to those promises you made? And my dedication to you, and Sarah's dedication, where is it? And he didn't do that. The first thing he did, he says, you know what? I don't even have a burial place, meaning I have nothing. I own nothing in this land, because the first thing you always get is a cemetery. That's what Jews do. When they move into a community, you have to build a synagogue, you got to get a cemetery, you have to have a hospital. So what he does is he says, I know what I have to do now. It was a promise. It was a promise, but I have to fulfill the promise. I have to work at it. So the first thing he does is, I'm buying a piece of land. I'm going to own a piece of land. This is the beginning of my residency and by owning Israel. Well, they offered him free, right? He says, no. I have to take possession of this land. He does it. And then he looks and says, I have no grandchildren. Well, I'm not going to wait for you, God, to bring a wife for Sarah. And then the rest of the chapter, right, the rest of the Torah reading is him finding a wife for Isaac. So what he does is he understands that a promise is not a guarantee. It's really, I would call it an opportunity. He had the opportunity to possess the land and have a great nation, but he had to take action. And that's true for everything. Our parents give us promises, but we have to actuate them. We have to make them happen. They give us opportunities. Our country gives us opportunities. The Jewish people had an opportunity when the UN said you can have your own country in this place called Palestine. They didn't give it to us on a silver platter. We had to possess it. So this is true in every aspect of life. There's a lot of promise in life, but there's no guarantees. And we have to actuate, but we have to work to make those promises real, not hand, no silver platters, no guarantees.
So the blessing for the Shabbat, the wish for the Shabbat is that we seize the opportunities that we're given and we make something out of them, and we continue Sarah's legacy to be open to welcome the stranger, to be open to the people and the world around us. Shabbat Shalom.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom.